When people reach the point when it's hard for them to leave home, whether they're elderly or disabled, they face a variety of challenges, including getting and preparing meals for themselves. Fortunately, there's an organization in Western Maine which brings meals to the homebound all over this area. This organization is called Meals on Wheels. Last year, a story about the Western Maine Meals on Wheels program appeared in Today River Valley, the video news feature program for the Androscoggin River Valley and Western Maine. At that time, there was some concern that federal budget cuts might curtail the Meals on Wheels program here, but fortunately that did not happen. Even so, the story gives a good portrayal of exactly how the program works. We'll be looking at it after a short message from a local business.
For new construction or renovations, or to tighten up that basement, there are few better investments than foam insulation. And in Western Maine, it's Dixfield Foam Insulation. Foam insulation is the best insulation on the market. It does not sag or settle like other insulation, and it maintains its R value for decades. That means that in the long run, the savings on heating and cooling costs will far exceed the cost of installing it in the first place. With foam insulation, there's no air leakage. It creates its own vapor barrier, and it's resistant to moisture. The rigidity of the product even serves to add to the structural integrity of the framing of the building. Foam insulation is ideal for new construction or renovations where the studs are going to be exposed, but it's also great for tightening up basements in any building. Have a difficult to seal rock wall foundation or a leaky, drafty basement? Seal it with foam insulation and keep air and water out. Dixfield Foam Insulation offers free, no obligation estimates.
I'm Tim with Dixfield Foam Insulation. Give us a call, we'll give you a free estimate.
Call 207-418-9394 or 207-441-3630 for a no-obligation consultation. And check our Facebook page for more information. At 5 a.m. every Monday through Thursday, the cooks that over 500 people depend on show up at the National Guard Armory Kitchen on Alfred Pleward Parkway in Lewiston, Maine, and turn on the stoves to supply a delivery system almost as regular as the post office, except that what's being delivered are nutritious meals, not the mail. It's the area's Meals on Wheels program, sending well-balanced meals out over thousands of miles of roads in 3 counties in Western Maine. Meals on Wheels in Androscoggin, Oxford, and Franklin counties is run by the area's official Agency on Aging, Seniors Plus of Lewiston.
I think they're incredibly important, the Meals on Wheels, to the recipients. My name is Betsy Sawyer-Manter, and I'm the CEO at Seniors Plus. The recipients of Meals on Wheels are people who, we don't test for income. It's not an income-tested program. But most of the people who are on the program are people of limited means or fixed incomes. The importance to them is that they can't prepare a meal for themselves. Either they don't have the ability to prepare a meal because they can't stand for long times, or they may get dizzy as they stand. They may be in a wheelchair. They may have other disabilities that cause it so that they're not able to make their own meals. They don't have someone else that can make it for them. Many people don't have family living close by, so they're reliant on either neighbors or help from others, and many are very socially isolated. So I think the impact for them is that they get a nutritious meal each day, and that it has a third of the daily requirements for nutrition that an adult needs. Secondly, it's a safety check. We make sure they haven't fallen, which has happened before, and also social. It's a social visit. I went on a Meals on Wheels run when I first started this job, and the thing I noticed the most about the meals, people were happy to receive their meal. They were more happy for the visit. They loved their Meals on Wheels driver.
But it is a program at risk, serving only 500 people in a 3-county area with a population of over 200,000. It is not always visible to the general public, and it's been an inviting target for recent federal budget cutting plans. The entire yearly Meals on Wheels budget in Western Maine is under $900,000, not even enough to pay a third of the cost of one weekend trip to Mar-a-Lago by President Donald Trump. But 500 recipients doesn't add up to a lot of votes. Can Meals on Wheels survive in the current political climate? And should it?
If we lost federal funding, I don't think we could run a Meals on Wheels program in the capacity we run it now. The federal money is pretty reliable, generally speaking. However, This year we're a little uncertain because there are, in the president's budget, some pretty deep cuts that are proposed for Department of Health and Human Services on the federal level.
If the government decides programs have to be cut, it's not hard to see why Meals on Wheels might be among those targeted. With over 200,000 living in western Maine, only 500 people are being served by Meals on Wheels. And if the point is to get food to people, driving it all over the region every day is a very expensive way to do it. The food itself costs less than $150,000 in the year summed up in the most recent report. The remaining money, nearly $750,000, is for labor, transportation costs, and other overhead. And the labor might even be higher, except that most of the people driving the food to the recipients are volunteers.
There are Meals on Wheels volunteers that deliver meals, pack meals, work in the kitchen, do lots of things for Meals on Wheels.
Speaking of volunteers, as I said before, probably about 75% of our drivers are volunteers. Throughout the 3 counties, we have over 500 volunteers that help us with the Meals on Wheels program. We could not do that without them. It's such a big help to have all that help. The drivers are wonderful people, people of all ages. They come in here, they're just looking to help out the community, so they give their free time and come in and deliver meals for us. Some of the people that come in are also agency volunteers, people who work with special needs adults. Their coaches will come in with their group and they'll go deliver meals as a group also. So it's a win-win situation for us. We give them a little bit of on-the-job training and we get the help that we need.
You compensate mileage or anything like
Absolutely, yes. We do compensate mileage at the state rate of 44 cents a mile. We only have so much money each year to serve so many meals, and as the number keeps increasing, we usually get to that certain point where we have to decide that at that point, we're at our maximum amount of consumers. Usually are comfortable around 420 to 450 consumers. Our count was up over 500 when we finally enacted the wait list. I think we were at about 525 consumers on January 1st when we enacted the wait list. So there's just only so much food that we can put out there. And even at that time, we're still doing everything we can to cut back costs within the kitchen. We had to shave back some hours of the staff. We're shopping at Good Shepherd Food Bank that much more often just to make our dollar stretch even further.
Budget cutters with their eyes on reducing or eliminating Meals on Wheels, however, may be blind to something larger than just saving a small amount of money in the short term. Getting a regular meal keeps many people out of the hospital and out of the nursing home.
So yes, it's the food. Food's critical, really important. Keeps people from going into hospitals, keeps people from being re-hospitalized, but those social contacts and that well-being check are also just as important. There would be a greater impact on cost to society. People would go into nursing homes more frequently. We know there's a Brown University study that says that people who get Meals on Wheels are less likely to go into nursing homes as soon as others who are not on Meals on Wheels. So we know that. That's been proven. So I would say nursing home utilization would increase. I would say that people probably wouldn't live as long. And I would say that people would have more chronic health conditions that would ultimately, it's going to cost us more.
The cost of a year's delivery of Meals on Wheels to a single recipient in western Maine is roughly $1,500. The cost of a year's stay in a nursing home is roughly 60 times more, up to $90,000 or more. If even 10 of the 500 meals recipients had to go into a nursing home because the program were discontinued, the cost would be greater than the entire current yearly budget of Meals on Wheels in western Maine.
My name is Carrie Ann DeWinel. I work for Seniors Plus for 10 years. I am the Meals on Wheels Assessor Coordinator, and I also deliver Meals on Wheels to our homebound consumers. Even the doctors are impressed with how much their health improved with getting the Meals on Wheels. It keeps them out of the nursing home, so they're able to stay at home. I don't know, I love what we do. It's a rewarding job for the seniors and the disabled.